What's going on, everyone? It's a Wednesday edition of Down the Boulevard with Q. I'm your host, Rich Quinones. A lot of hoop-centric talk. As always, don't forget the channel at Rich Q on Q on social media, at Rich Q on Q, hashtag DTB. My guy, my hoops insider. Look at him, looking dapper. He's got the cleanup, Jonathan Marshall. He looks like he's getting ready to take a nice young lady out to dinner. Who knows? I don't know. We don't get into that. But anyway, how are you, my friend?
I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to go to the West Coast, Q. I got to look clean for Hollywood. You know, we got to look clean.
There you go. You gonna take any hoops action in on the West Coast or what?
I think I'm gonna have to at least watch on the TV. At least watch on the TV. I don't know if I can afford Lakers tickets right now.
I mean, to be honest, the way they're playing, well, they're starting to show a little bit of signs of life. But hey, man. All right, I'm not going to hold you, my friend, but I always appreciate a couple moments. Let's hit the Eastern Conference kind of start. And then I want to get your thoughts on some of college as well. But so we talked about Boston, Milwaukee, since the season started, even before the season. We thought the Nets were also going to be that team that kind of, I don't want to say re-snuck up, and now the loss of Durant. And you really kind of see when we always talk about the MVP and we have the usual suspects, if we're going Giannis or Joker or Curry or Luka. I mean, you kind of see what Durant means to that team and that franchise when he's not on the floor. And we're kind of seeing it right now. Do you think this team is just trying to get their bearings, or once he returns, is it going to be too little too late, or you think they'll be okay?
I think they'll be, if we're talking a month for KD, right? I know Kyrie missed the game. Kyrie missed the game last night. So that's important because they can't just run out there with Ben Simmons and the rest of those guys. That's not going to get it done, right? And so if Kyrie is able to play, I think they can hold down the fort until KD comes back, because the way they were playing pre-injury, I mean, they were sneaking up on the number 2 spot, right? The number 2 spot and right behind Boston. But of course, I think we're starting to see Boston separate themselves a little bit. But I think the way it is from 2 to 4, you look at Milwaukee, Philly, and Brooklyn, even Cleveland, it's not a lot of like heavy separation between those teams. And so I think the fact that it's so close from 2 through 5, they still have a shot to still sneak into that 2 or 3 period, territory.
Yeah, they're going to stub their toe here and there. Yeah. Lost to the Spurs and whatnot. Boston, to me, I still think arguably the most complete team. It's because you can make the case to have 2 of the top, 7 or 8 players in the NBA right now?
I think so. I mean, Tatum gets all the headlines, right? But I think people aren't talking about Jaylen Brown enough. If you watch the Celtics in the playoffs, a lot of struggles with his ball handling and as far as creating off the dribble. But this year, he's really tightened up that handle. He's more confident. He's not getting stripped away as much anymore. He's had some big performances. Even when Tatum has missed some games here and there, Brown has stepped up and he's been highly consistent for them. He's hurt right now, but Jaylen Brown is playing at an all-star level. I'm not sure if he'll start, but he is playing it like an all-star starter right now. And so Rob Williams is back. I mean, they got Marcus Smart, Derek White, and Malcolm Brogdon as your point guard options, right? Yeah. Like, not a lot of teams have 3 legit point guards. Then you have 2-way guys and Tatum and Brown. I mean, yeah, this team is they're ready to make another Eastern Conference Finals run.
I think Smart's one of the most underrated players in the end, because he plays at both ends of the floor. We know that, right? You can't overstate how good he is defensively. Listen, if the Eagles were not in the playoffs, they would probably have a lot of hype what the Sixers are doing right now. All of a sudden, waking up a little bit out of their slumber, 9-2 in their last 11, I believe. Again, this is another case of when a team is fully healthy. I'm still concerned, man, when I watch the big man, dominant, yes, but you're talking logging a ton of minutes and trying to shoulder the load offensively. And I just don't know if his body's going to break down come March, April.
Yeah, I mean, the talent is there, right? That's never a question with Embiid, with just this roster, right? But it's always the big question, will Embiid be ready to go in the playoff series, in the 7-game series? That's the only question. They're playing at a great, like watching the Clippers game yesterday, the energy that they had in the first half, especially defensively. I mean, Maxey off the bench has been huge. They just seem to be clicking on all cylinders right now. It was rare for me to actually sit down and watch the Sixers play. Like, this is fun to watch. Like, it's a joy to watch right now. And that always hasn't been the case. But can that sustain over 82 period and then the playoffs? That's the only question mark. But if Embiid's healthy, and if this is the team that goes into the playoffs, I think it's Boston and Philly, the top two teams, considering we'll see how KD and all that goes together as well. But I would take Philly over Milwaukee right now. I would.
Wow.
Especially considering I don't know what's up with Chris Middleton.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? You want that Batman to the Robin, so to speak. And you just mentioned Middleton and Giannis, and then you look at the Sixers, whether it's Harris, or I should say Maxey, or Harden with Embiid. They win by 10 last night against the Clippers. Embiid had 41.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, he puts up monster numbers, man, and on a night where Harden, I think, had 7 points. I just put up one of 6, played 32 minutes, helped out in other areas, obviously, but Embiid takes them as far as he can take them, basically.
Right.
You just playoff basketball, man, half court offenses. We're going to tighten up a little bit. We're not going to let you get some easy shots or put backs. We're going to ratchet up the defense. The way they're playing right now, yeah, you can argue them in Boston. Milwaukee's got some issues. We still don't trust Cleveland. We know they've got some depth and they've got some players. And then you got the Knicks, Miami, Indiana. I mean, there's not, I don't even think, listen, the Knicks have played well over their last 10, no doubt. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're starting to creep up. They're in the 6th seed right now. But again, consistency. At least with this, there are certain teams I think we could agree where you have 4 or 5 players around the league where night in and night out, they're going to get theirs. For the most part. You're allowed to have an off night. I'm still not convinced Cleveland has those players consistently. And I'm certainly not convinced that the Knicks have those players night in. Randall, I give him credit, and Barrett, they played well, but I've also seen enough of them this year where he'll have his night where he's 6 of 18 from the floor. So, but I like your point on the Sixers. How about the Western Conference? I mean, you got 2 teams right now that in years past we probably wouldn't be talking about in Memphis and Denver. And now you can make the case that they're arguably, 1, 2, not only in the Western Conference, but maybe in the entire NBA.
I mean, just how crazy is this, right? Look at the top 4 teams in the West: Denver, Memphis, New Orleans, Sacramento. Not major media markets, right?
Small market teams.
Just even thinking about the whole dynamics of the Western Conference, we're used to seeing the Golden States, the LAs, right? Both LA teams, right? Golden State is not, up there right now. Even Phoenix is sliding down. But I look at Denver, I look at Memphis. If New Orleans is fully healthy with Ingram and Zion and CJ, they belong in that grouping too. But I think Denver and Memphis have especially solidified themselves. Like, they've separated themselves. Number one, they have bona fide franchise guys. Jokic, John Morant, those are just 2 playmakers. They elevate everybody else around them. But the depth and just the way that these teams play, there's an identity, and you can tell. Each and every night, you know what type of team, you know what type of style Denver's going to play, you know the type of style Memphis is going to play. And they're hungry and they're young, but they have some experience in these playoff games, right? These playoff series. Denver, Jamal Murray and Jokic, they've been there before, right? Even Memphis last year, with Golden State playing in that, I think they learned a lot from that as well. So they have experience. New Orleans is dangerous too, with a healthy Zion and Ingram and CJ McCollum being a veteran. Valanciunas he's been around for a little bit. They have a lot of young guys who can defend. Jose Alvarado, Trey Murphy, Najee Marshall, Herb Jones, just a lot of guys they can throw at you. Right. So I wouldn't want to play New Orleans either. So I think Denver, Memphis, and New Orleans are showing that we can win while also developing talent at the same time. They're still developing guys at the same time, but they're still winning. I think they're doing a great job of doing that. That's what impresses me the most about Denver, Memphis, and New Orleans. They're winning. They have franchise guys, but they're still young talent that they're developing and still producing at the same time. They can you can do it.
You flip those standings, right?
Yeah.
Lakers, San Antonio rebuilding, Phoenix, Portland, Utah, Golden State. Portland had that unbelievable start. Golden State had to withstand some injuries, obviously, with Curry. Phoenix, we always talk about the backcourt. Utah, we talk about that team. That's a talented and deep team. But these teams are showing that they're leaking a little bit of oil, right? And I remember Hubie Brown said many years ago, it's getting late early, right? So you certainly don't want to put yourself where you're in a box now, 6, 7, 8 games below 500, because the way these teams are playing, as you mentioned, Denver, Memphis, New Orleans, Sacramento, right? You can maybe argue one of the surprises of the NBA season. They seem like they're not going away.
They're not going away. I mean, I look at the top three. That's been the top three for a little while now, right? Like I don't see that. I mean, the order may change, but the top three is going to be the top three.
Yep.
Luka, he may do some things to slide Dallas up, maybe, but I think the top 4, top 5 is pretty much going to be the same. I can see a Golden State moving up to a top 6 spot, but my concern with the Lakers and Phoenix, especially at this point, you're playing catch up, and so it's going to get to February and March, where okay, regular season's winding down. We got to start winning some games, but you also have to rely on other teams to lose as well. And considering the health concerns of AD, when is he going to be back? Is LeBron going to miss a game here or there? Is CP3 going to be here? Is Devin Booker going to miss a couple games? Like at this point, they're playing catch up. And I think out of all those teams, the Lakers, Suns, and Warriors, I have more confidence and trust in the Warriors because they've done it. They've been there, right? I trust it. And they're not so far behind that they can't get into that top 6 range. But if I had to say right now, I think Lakers and Suns they're poised for a play-in territory at this moment. When
you think about it, I wrote the Lakers off even before the season started. I thought they were going to be horrible. You know what I felt about, the acquisition of Westbrook, and he had 21 off the bench the other night. LeBron had 41. I pulled up his numbers. LeBron James, he's played in 34 games, 36.2 minutes, and he's averaging close to 30 points. We just watched Tom Brady look like Father Time.
Yeah.
Caught up with him the other night, right? And you're watching LeBron James. Like him or not, it's utterly amazing what he's doing at this age.
Yeah.
Because you would say LeBron James right now, if I were to ask you, is LeBron James a top 10 player in the NBA? What would you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you say top 5?
I mean, he's on some
Go
nights.
Go through it right now. Give me your top 5 in the NBA right now. And they have to be healthy.
Okay. Jokic.
Yep.
Luka.
Yep.
Well, Giannis, I mean, is he healthy?
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. You want to, you know what? Let me walk that back. You want to go Durant?
Yeah, I mean, Durant has to be in there. I mean, Giannis, Durant, Luka, Jokic, and that 5 spot. I mean, a few names come to mind. LeBron comes to mind. Tatum comes to mind. Steph comes to mind. Morant comes to mind. But I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with you putting LeBron at the 5 spot. Honestly, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
And yet, people are still looking at LeBron James as though he's not going to be able to sustain it, right? So I know he's dealing with some knee injuries. I think he's questionable. I know he's got some left ankle soreness as well.
Yeah.
He's questionable tonight against the Kings. I guess the point is, I feel as though LeBron's almost in that Tom Brady, like, don't you write him off when the film doesn't lie, right? Is my point. And to watch what he did the other night, man, I don't care about the opposition. I don't care who's defending him. I don't care if it's on a day or 2 rest. I don't care. It doesn't matter. He's playing at such a high level, but I don't know. Is he going to be able to sustain this? It's like the last push. Like for LeBron James, this team is not built to win a championship.
Yeah.
They're not. So at this point, is it just about the stats, the records, the all-time records, getting the Mount Rushmore, everyone wants to get there.
Yeah. I mean, LeBron he's exceeded the hype. He's exceeded the expectations. He's playing at a top 5 level to this day still. And
he's
the question,
he's going to pass Kareem. I don't mean
he is.
He's got 38.072. I think Kareem's got 38.387.
Yeah, it's going to happen, right? I know he wants to win, right? He doesn't want to be sitting home come playoff time, right? He wants to compete and win, but the reality is the roster isn't good enough. That's just the reality, right? You're playing the Thunder, who are trying to tank. We have young guys. I mean, I don't think they have a guy over 25. I mean, I'd look at the roster, but that's just a young group, right? And they're not trying to compete for a championship. LeBron is, so that's what gives me concern, is like, he's going to have to carry so much of a heavy load, especially with AD being around. Can AD physically be trusted, right? And so what he's doing this year, I haven't seen any signs of a fall off when he's out there playing. Like, I just haven't. But I think for an outsider's perspective, especially for me, it's like, okay, when he's going to break the record, and that'll be a great moment in NBA history, right? But outside of that, seeing LeBron in the playoffs and making a championship run, obviously, I mean, that's highly long. I just don't see it. How? It's
you'd have to,
no matter how great
you'd have to get one of those teams to get knocked off early, but think about where they would be in the playoff seedings. And you'd have to I don't see it, right? So it almost begs a question, like we said, what's next? Like, what?
I don't know what's next for him, honestly. I mean, if you're the Lakers, this is what it is, right? Like, this is what you signed up for, right? This is what LeBron, you went to LA, obviously to team up with AD, but there were some other things business-wise why you went to LA. You got your championship. They got what they wanted. I mean, I think to be able to maneuver, I think AD would be the biggest piece that they can try to maneuver at this point. But looking ahead to the future, Memphis is young. Denver is young. New Orleans is young. Sacramento is young. Luka is still Luka. He's still young.
Yeah.
So you got 4 or 5 teams that are poised for a run for the next decade.
I mean, listen, I don't believe they're going to be active come February 9th.
What can they do?
Well, if you moved, let's just say you tried to, or you moved Davis. Okay. Let's just go on that premise for a minute.
Yeah.
LeBron's going to play how many minutes a night? I mean, he's not going to make it till March, April.
And what type of haul are you getting back for AD at this point?
And he's injury prone.
He's getting older. As he gets older, I can imagine it's not going to get any easier.
Yeah.
So what are you getting that's going to elevate you above that top 3, top 4 status in the West? I think they're pretty much stuck with what it is.
2 more for you. Appreciate it as always. You've been following college hoops?
Yeah. I've been tapping in. This is around the time when I really started paying attention, conference play, leading into conference tournament play. So every now and then definitely tap into some of the top matchups for sure. This year is interesting, right? Because the top 2 prospects in the NBA aren't in college.
Nope.
Right? We got Vic, who's overseas, and then we got Scoot Henderson, who's playing for G League Ignite. So it's like, you don't have that transcendent talent this year playing for a college team that can elevate them come tournament time. Yeah. There's some talented guys, though. Brandon Miller for Alabama is a very good freshman. He's going off.
I'll tell you who I like. That center for Purdue.
Yeah, Zach Edey. He's good.
19 a game, 10 rebounds. Yeah. Purdue's looking good. Houston's looking good. Kansas got a very good deep backcourt. I mean, when it comes to college, my thing is if you have a backcourt, if you have guard play come March, typically you're going to be these teams. Purdue's had an outstanding season. They had the 1 loss against Rutgers. Texas has a good team. Tennessee has a good team. Virginia's got some shooters as well.
This is what we've been seeing for the last few tournaments, I want to believe. Like, it's really been open, right? Like, I know last year Kansas won it, but even last year was sort of like, okay, who's like, I thought Arizona had enough talent to do it. But Kansas wound up winning it. I don't necessarily think they were the most, I still think Arizona had the talent to win it, but tournament play, you just never know. Matchups, things can happen. But if I had to pick a team, when I just watch a team, when I watch college ball, when I watch a team, I'm like, can they go far in the tournament? It's just, it just sticks out to you. And when I watch Houston, it's just something about how they play. They play with such fierce, competitive fire, with force, with speed. They have a great coach. They have great guards. Like, I don't know. Houston just looks like a team that can give you a run and can go far, and I can make it tougher for opposing teams. So Houston would be my team to pick right now if I had to.
Not bad, not bad. He is Jonathan Marshall, or Hoops Insider, at John_Marshall3. All right, before I let you get out of here, I'm not predicting anything until Friday.
You want to go there? You want to go there?
Can I tell you my dilemma?
What's that?
So it's a horrible dilemma, but there's greater tragedies in the world. So Saturday night, it fell through that I'm calling an international feed from the fights in Mexico, but I'll be able to do it locally. So we'll simulcast it. The fights don't go off till 9. So I have to bring the Mac. I got to bring the monitor.
Yeah.
And it's 4 to 5 fights. I'm hoping there's a couple quick knockouts, but bottom line is I'll get a quarter under my belt and then my phone gets turned off because there's no way I'm going to be able to call fights and then have one eye.
Right. Of course not.
On a monitor, watching what's going on. Now, I'm hoping, now maybe I'm trying to talk myself into this. Now you're laughing already. You tell me if I'm really reaching. I'm hoping because I treat my profession as it is a profession and I'm a professional and I'm the consummate pro.
Of course.
That the football gods, the broadcast gods will be kind to me and say, you know what? This guy's doing what he needs to do. It's called being responsible. So when he glances over or when he's done and he checks the phone or he looks at the monitor, he's going to see that the New York Football Giants have scored more points than the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, am I reaching? Will the friggin' football gods be kind to me because I haven't won shit in that house of horrors in like 20 something odd years? So am I reaching? Is this the act of a desperate man right now?
Heavy reach. I got to call a foul on that reach, Q. I'm not even worried about Danny Dimes. I'm not worried about.
No respect. None.
Here's the thing. Brian Daboll, coach of the year, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a question. Even before last week, I thought he was coach of the year. Given the situation, given, obviously you have Saquon Barkley, but who are the wideouts, right? And these aren't household names, right? Defense is doing its thing, but Daboll, what he's done with Daniel Jones, it's a miracle. I think he's elevated his play. I think he's coached him to a style.
Here comes the Philadelphia fan. It's starting. I sense it.
But if there's any other quarterback I would rather play that's left in the field right now.
Why are you not giving him his just due and respect? Honestly, and I was not sold on him, and I'm sold. I don't think he's going to have 70-something yards with the RPO, but I'll tell you something else, my friend. Let's just mark this down now. McKinney and Adoree Jackson did not play. Williams was banged up. They're all healthy. And Jalen Hurts has not played meaningful football in about a month plus. So
that's true.
And Lane Johnson's banged up. If right now, and this is going to sound so not me, but the way they played this year, if they have a good showing and they lose, will I be upset for a day? Yeah, of course. But it won't be the end of the world. You know why? Because no one expected them to go on the road in Minnesota and beat the Vikings, and for them to play 60 minutes of complimentary football Saturday and give the Eagles fits and everything they have. I haven't had this type of enjoyment in a decade.
I was impressed with what they did on the road, right? Daniel Jones did his thing. He's opened eyes to a lot of us. I would never imagine him going on the road in the playoffs and winning a game, right? So he's done a great job. Daboll's my coach of the year. Like he's not going to be Danny Dimes anymore, man. And he's not. I call him Danny Nichols. He's going to be Danny Dollars. He's cashing in. Are you comfortable with that though? With him being the quarterback for the next few years? Are you comfortable with that? Yeah. So us again. I was an Eli guy. It pained me when they benched Eli and Jones teased us a little bit the first year, inconsistency the second year, and then got hurt. What he's been able to do this year. And I watch every snap, as you know, and I go back and I watch every snap. There's something to be said about this kid's athleticism, the way he runs, the way he's seeing the field now, and he's not turning over the football. And he's also throwing to a bunch of unheralded wide receivers. Like if they can't get separation on Saturday, it's going to be a long night. But this kid, the tenacity, the leadership, and he's 6'5", 6'6". He's 25 years old. He can throw the football. He's got good football acumen. The head coach is getting the best out of him. Yes, he sold me the first week when he had the bad pick and then he took the Giants right down the field.
and they won that game. And the head coach sold me when he decided, forget about this, going for
I love that.
we're going for 2.
That's when I knew it was a different Giants team. I was like, Dayball's the guy. I will say this: if they put all their belief in Daniel Jones, right? They have Saquon, they build up that roster. The defense is what it is. You guys are going to compete for the next few years, right?
That's all I'm asking for.
You guys are going to compete. And you look at the NFC as a whole, right? A lot of question marks with Green Bay and their quarterback situation. Tampa Bay, is Brady coming back? Stafford, he fell off this year, right? Kyler Murray in Arizona, Seattle, Geno Smith. So it's not like the AFC is stacked, right, with quarterbacks. If you're not Josh Allen, Mahomes, Lamar, or Burrow,
Justin Herbert,
Justin Herbert, like Trevor, it's just ridiculous, right? And so I think in the NFC, you got some guys at quarterback who haven't fully proven themselves yet. There are some question marks at quarterback, right? People still want to see Jalen Hurts do it in the playoffs. He hasn't fully.
I'm telling you, man.
So
listen, I know
it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, he made the comment about, the bounty on me. Listen, man, if the Giants have an opportunity to knock you on your ass, they're going to knock you on your ass. I mean, let's rest assured. Dexter Lawrence could be that X factor, but like I said, it's rust. And number 1 seed, playoff or bust.
Yeah.
An ugly game going into the 4th, man. What happens? Teams tighten up.
I got to see how the Eagles start, because if they start off slow, that tells me what type of game it's going to be.
But even if they start off fast, the Giants have shown that when they get punched in the mouth, because Minnesota did it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. I think
there's pressure on the Eagles. There's pressure too. There's pressure. And playing with a team that is just like, you know what? Let's just see what can happen. That's always dangerous come playoff time, right? So 8:15 kickoff. Like I'll be on the West Coast. Hopefully, I'm not sure what I'll be doing, but I'm gonna have to find somewhere, or maybe on my phone. I'm gonna be with some people hanging out, but I'm gonna have to find like a phone, or I'm gonna have to find a way to watch it.
You'll watch it. You'll find a way. Yeah, you'll find a way. I feel you're a little too cocky on this Wednesday, to be honest.
Look, here's my thing. Number 1 seed, home field advantage. Look, get it done. That's it. Get it done. Right? Like if we can't beat the Giants on our home field, divisional round.
Just these little pot shots, man.
But I mean, look, just on paper, who's the better team? Right? If AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert,
you keep convincing yourself. Going now, who sounds like the desperate man? Tiki tack
defensively with James Bradbury slaying these guys. Come on, we're not Minnesota's defense. Just know that. Minnesota's defense is leaky.
I'm keeping receipts.
It's a difference. The Cowboys fans think Tampa was something. Wait till you see San Francisco. I'm just saying. Cowboys and Giants fans, enjoy it. But how about this though?
Okay.
3 teams remaining NFC East. Come on.
Right. Now the barking comes out. All right,
NFC East though. How about the NFC East though showing out? 3 to 4 teams remaining. How about that?
I
respect that though. NFC East. I respect that.
These are all receipts. All right, pal.
It might be if the Giants beat the Eagles and the Cowboys win, it's going to be a long weekend for me. It's going to be a long week.
And you rest assured, my fingers will be tapping on the phone a lot.
Because I'm getting it from Giants and Cowboys fans at the same time. Oh my goodness.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
And I will be forced to root for the Giants in that game.
See, smart man. See
I
that?
would never root for the Cowboys. Never.
Good young man. I raised you right. All right. Go enjoy the West Coast. Have a little fun. Have safe travels, and we'll talk when you get back, brother.
All right, Q.
All right. Be well, man.